Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Michelle and I am a part-time reseller on Poshmark. My closet name is Mish Market and I'll put it up somewhere over here. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the 5 things that I am doing to prepare to be full-time. I am preparing to be a full-time reseller and that transition is happening as we speak. I am going to be starting on full-time work here at home, hopefully March 1st. So we will see, fingers crossed, if all goes well. I am transitioning out of my full-time job and I'm going to be working from home on my business with Poshmark full-time, which is crazy. Anyway, let's get right into the video on the 5 things that I am doing. So these are in no order, but I am just going to go down the list as I wrote them. Okay, so the first thing is saving 3 paychecks. So that's not really real. Not everyone needs to save 3 paychecks. But what I mean by that is I'm saving enough money to give myself the runway to essentially work on my business full-time for 3 months and have enough in my savings to pay for any bills or anything that come up in 3 months' time. And some of the people that I've seen online who talk about going full-time, they say that 3 is a good number as well, but it doesn't necessarily need to be 3. It could be you want 6 months of runway, you just want a cushion to give yourself sort of the flexibility to work 100% on this business, and also if you have a slow month or if an emergency comes up, or if anything, if you're saving little bits of money over time so that you can sort of give yourself this cushion in the future. So yeah, that's number 1. The number 2 thing that I think is super important when you're making any change in your life, period, just at all, is getting really clear on your why. Why are you doing this? Why am I doing this? Like, why do I want to be at home? And why do I want to thrift clothes all the time just to sell them? Like, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I working crazy late hours? It's important to understand just for yourself, just so that when, things get hard, when, of course, those moments are going to happen, you are prepared to deal with them, and you don't just sort of throw in the towel, and you can sort of lean on yourself and remind yourself like why you're doing this. So I think understanding your why is really key in any of the changes any of the choices that you make in your life. There's a really good TED Talk on this, so I'll link that in the description, but it just goes on and explains this way better than I ever could. So understand your why. Number 3, I need to do better at this. I can say that now, but it's something that I'm working on. And number 3 is getting clear on my business finances. So it's almost kind of cringeworthy because I think sometimes people look away from the things that are tough, or you sort of avoid the things that you don't want to do. And I think it's really important as a business owner or someone who is going to be providing all of the income that they need for themselves, that I know what are the numbers I need to make, how much profit do I need to make, what are my costs of goods, what are my margins, like what are my margins, how much money do I need to save, like what are the numbers I need to hit to get through the month and also to continue to grow. So some of those metrics might seem foreign if you're a new reseller, or they might be things that you already know, and like kudos to you, but especially when I first started, it was just something that I was doing as a hobby. It wasn't really something I was like 100% on, and I've been on Poshmark for a few years now, and I was doing it sort of like for fun. And so those initial, like a few years ago, sales and things, they weren't things that I was keeping track of, but it's important to keep everything really clear and organized, especially when you decide that you're going to take this on as a business. You need to treat it as a business if you want it to become a full-time business for you to support yourself. Yeah, that's like, maybe it seems obvious, but like, I don't know. You have to be organized in knowing your numbers. You have to be clear on what are the numbers you need to make so that you can keep going. One of the numbers that I didn't feel like was so obvious when I first started looking at the numbers was the number of what am I open to buy? How much money do I need to keep set aside to be spent in the following month on inventory? So that's something that maybe you don't necessarily, not a lot of people talk about, I think, in general, of what is the number of, what's the dollar amount that I need to keep always in this account, or what is the dollar amount of inventory that I'm always going to be spending every month so that I can continue to grow my closet, so that I can continue to grow my business. And so, yeah, that number is different for everyone. And so I've got a spreadsheet of just sort of projections, things that I need to hit if I want to achieve certain numericals. But yeah, anyway, if you're interested in seeing a video on finances, I can totally do something like that. My boyfriend worked on this really beautiful spreadsheet, and I know there are a few resources out there right now of like spreadsheets and things you can use to sort of get clear on the finances that would be way better than I could ever explain. But if that's something you're interested in seeing, let me know in the comments down below. Number 4. The fourth thing that I am doing and that I think I also could improve in is getting organized, making a schedule. It seems obvious, right? Like you would need a schedule if you were doing anything. If you were going to be working a 9 to 5 as, I don't know, at a teller at a bank or something, you have a procedure when you come into the bank, you have a procedure when you leave. Like if you're working retail, like there are procedures that you need to follow when you on your day-to-day. There are days that inventory comes in when you're working retail that you always need to prepare for it. Like there is a schedule in place that you need to follow. So I think when you're working from home, or at least for me, when I'm working from home, it's really easy to get distracted. It's really easy to just like stumble over yourself and just end up on Instagram. Like you just press the button and you're like, how did I get here? So that happens a lot. I don't know about you, but it happens a lot to me. So anyway, I think making a schedule is like key, just key. You need to have a routine. You need to know how you're going to start your day. You need to know what days you're going to be purchasing your inventory. So if you decide, at least starting out, I think that starting out, it's really important to know these are the days I'm going to be sourcing. These are the days I'm going to be taking photos and listing. This is what I'm going to do every single day. So every day I'm going to list 20 items. And that's it. When you say that you're going to work on something for a block of time for 1 hour in the day, then you're just going to do that one thing and not be distracted, and then you can move on to the next task. I think that's super important, and it's kind of hard advice to follow sometimes. I mean, if you're easily distracted, or if it's something that you're not super interested in, like if you don't want to update the spreadsheet with your expenses and stuff like that, like for me, I just put in all of the expenses, all of my receipts and everything. They just go into one like one page on my spreadsheet. And sometimes I'm like, I don't want to update that. Like, I don't want to see how much money I spent. But you can't avoid it. You need to do it. You're going to be better for it. I'm going to be better for it. Just stop avoiding the things that you hate. Just dive into them so that you can, eventually understand, and then maybe be able to teach someone else something from this thing, and maybe eventually you learn to love it. I don't know. I'm kind of talking to myself here, right? Like like maybe eventually I'll learn to love the numbers, but I don't right now. It's just something that you have to do to become a better business owner, and I think to improve your business and to be able to support yourself and to really get this to scale, you need to know your numbers and you need to get organized. So anyway, let me stop rambling. Make a schedule. It keeps you consistent. End of story. Period. The fifth thing that I am doing to prepare to become a full-time reseller is setting goals. And I think maybe that's a little bit obvious, but the truth is, if you're going to work towards something, you're going to have your schedule, you're going to be consistent, you got that down packed, you need to know what you're working towards. You can't just sort of have this open-ended unknown in front of you. I think it's important to set the goals, know what you're working towards so that you can make small steps every day to achieve them. And so one of the goals for me, non-monetary, there was a really loud ass plane just passing through. Okay, so one of the goals for myself is to post consistently to YouTube. So I want to post one video a week, and I haven't been able to do that, but I plan on it. So one video a week, and maybe on the same day every week. That would be nice, right? And I want to get really clear. I want to have a representative image for myself, so a logo. I want all of my images to be really consistent so that you can recognize these are mine, this is the inventory that's coming from Mish Market, and I just want all of it to be cohesive and consistent. So I'm sourcing better, I'm trying to take better photos, I'm going to be filming and posting consistently. These are some of the goals that I'm trying to achieve, not all at once, but working little by little. One of the goals is I want to post 20 items, or I want to list 20 items a day. And while I'm still sort of working part-time at my job, or working full-time at my job, I should say, it's going to be hard for me to do that on those days that I'm working. So maybe I say, okay, on the days that I'm working, I will list 5 to 10 items, and on the days that I'm off, I'll list 30 items, something like that, so that at the end of every week you have X items available in your closet, or that you have X items that you've listed. So yeah, set business goals. Okay, so if you liked this video and you want to see more content like this, you want to see more videos like this, or if you're interested in seeing a separate video about any one of the topics that I just discussed, let me know down in the comments and drop your closet names so that I can share the love. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.